if there's like a time limit on how long you can go live. Let me just get my settings right. Yup. No, we're gonna change this. Yes. Okay. All right. Woo, we're back. So in part 1, we got about this far, right? With my, I'm doing my lid shade now. And I was saying, with this particular eyeshadow, it kind of is giving that it needs to go over more of like a powder, like a set finish and not like a cream product. I typically use, but like I'm gonna gap areas by like patting instead of like dragging it over. So if you're just joining my live, this is part 2 because for some reason the first part cut off. We are trying some new spring makeup products today. And while I am showing y'all here on YouTube, I'm also filming a YouTube short. And a TikTok. No, it's the same thing. Short form video. So now, yeah. So if y'all have ever used the About Face eyeshadows before, let me know. This is my first time trying them. Very creamy. I don't know about how I feel about how they're sitting on top of like a more creamy, like a, not like liquid, but like cream base. I feel like they need to go on something that's a bit more like dried down. But I'm working with them and they're working with me, so in terms of the eyeshadow. Okay. Yeah. There we go. Once it like dries down a bit more, it's easier to fill in the gaps. So now we're getting closer to a place where I'd want to be. Show y'all. Show the camera. I'm trying out a new lighting setup today. So let me know what y'all think about the lighting. Now we will see how this wears today. I'm hoping it's not something that like kind of cracks and peels. I don't know why I have like a slight sneaking suspicion that it might. But I am finding like you apply a layer, let it dry down some, and then add a bit more, and that's helping like address any gaps. Ooh, girl, that's a little too much right there. Like, oh no, child, let's walk that back. Okay. And again, I will go back after and put links to everything I've used, but if you're curious now, they'll all be linked on my LTK. Okay, so this is what we have right now on my lid. This again is by About Face. This is their holographic liquid eyeshadow. I'm using it in the shade The Muse. Zoom out a little bit for the camera. Because while I'm showing y'all here on YouTube Live, I'm also filming a video. So you're getting a little behind the scenes while we do this tutorial. Okay, so now that we're here, I think now's a good time to go in with some liner. So my go-to liner, I like to use gel eyeliner, preferably. I've tried liquid. I don't really rock with pencil for like my upper lash line. I'm using the Inglot gel liner in the shade 77 Black. Let me also show my camera. And the reason why I like gel liner is because I feel like it's easier to get like that, to get that crisp look. Zoom in. Okay. It's easier to get like the crisp look, and like especially in the inner corner of my eye. Oh, girl, I'm glad I said that. Before we do the inner corner liner and all that, I need to put down a highlight shade first for my inner corner. Now, because the holographic eyeshadow, right, she's bright, she's brilliant, she's duochrome, it's giving a lot of things. I want to go for a matte shade for my inner corner highlight. So I'm going to grab something here from the P. Louise palette. I was saying earlier, this is one of my all-time favorite eyeshadow palettes. If I don't have this with me, grind do my eyeshadow. And that's just that on that. When I travel, I always have this with me. This has a lot of great neutral matte shades, some shimmer shades too. Like if you are someone who likes to have like to do a lot of like neutral looks, this is definitely a palette that I recommend. Now let's pick an inner corner highlight. I am thinking, because the colors in here, right, the duochrome is giving like, it's picking up yellow, it's picking up green, kind of like in my necklace here. I'm thinking I need to go for a matte inner corner highlight that has like a slightly yellow undertone to it, but there's more cream. So I'm gonna go with Loyalty right here from this palette. And also zoom out so the camera can see. So to apply my inner corner highlight, I like to use a pencil brush. This is what those look like. And I feel like these are great. Sorry, I had to show the camera. I feel like these are great to like really pack on color in that area. So what I'm gonna do, as I zoom in a little bit on this side, is pick up some of the color on my pencil brush. And I'm gonna blend it out in the inner corner of my eye. But I'm not gonna take it. Yeah, that was a good color choice. See how it's like really brightening and opening up the look of my eye? But because it's not shimmery, it's not really competing for attention necessarily with the liquid eyeshadow that I used. I'm really just like packing that in there. The reason why I prefer to do my inner corner highlight, and I also always like take it up too in my inner eye. I don't just like leave it right there, I take it up. The reason why I wanted to make sure I did this before I added liner was because if I didn't, the liner would just start looking crazy after, because I would have been trying to pack it on top. And then I feel like, to me at least, it would have started to look a bit cakey in that area, because I would have had this eyeshadow kind of like packed on top of the liner, and it just wouldn't have been the desired effect that I'm going for. So boom, inner corner highlight. And again, that shade is Loyalty. Whoop, girl, don't drop the palette. That is Loyalty from the, not the eyeshadow, I just stuck my finger in. Girl, give it together. This is Loyalty from the P. Louise eyeshadow palette. Okay, boom. Now that that's done, now we can do liner. And again, y'all, whenever you see me leaning forward, I'm just stopping and restarting my camera, because when I edit, for me, it's easier to do things in clips than to like just let the camera run for the whole time and then try to sit down and edit all of that. So when I do my liner, my gel liner, right, again, because that is my preference. I said it in the last slide before I cut off. My preference is gel liner because it's easier to get that crisp, clean look that I'm going for. For me, excuse me, I don't really get that same effect from using a pencil on my upper lash line. That ain't gonna cut it for me. I've tried liquid. You know, liquid can be a little hit or miss for me. I feel like with gel, I get more control. So that is what I'm going to do now. As I get a little closer, I'm going to line my upper lash line. And the liner that I'm using today is Inglot gel liner in the shade 77 Black. Also, make sure that you don't get too much on the sides of your brush, because if you do, it's just gonna land on your lid in a way that you don't want. Now, what I should have done that I wasn't thinking about because I was so busy like testing out the liquid eyeshadow that I use was to leave like a little bit of a gap between the liquid shadow that I used and my lashes. This way it would be a bit smoother of an application when I'm putting on the gel liner. I did not do that today. That is typically something that I would do. But again, we're trying new spring products today. One of them being the liquid eyeshadow that's on my eye, on my lid right now. And I was excited about that. So I forgot all about leaving a little gap for the liner. But that's okay because again, it's a gel liner. I'm having really like a smooth time covering it. And then take it into my inner corner. I want to get that nice and sharp, but I also don't want to get product all over my fingers. So I'm going to use this clean paper towel here to kind of like pinch my brush flatter. This way it's like nice and sharp, because if the bristles of your brush aren't really like compact, the liner's gonna go in a wider area than you might have initially intended. So if you want that nice sharp look for your inner corner, you want to make sure your brush is flat. And this brush that I'm using, because like I'm someone, I will invest in good quality tools. Sorry, I had to get my top for the camera. I will invest in good quality tools, like good quality makeup brushes, stuff like that. But I need to know it's gonna last. Don't have me out here spending like, you know, $20, $30 on a brush, and then like after a year, I'm gonna need a new one. Like, I need to get my money's worth. So this is like a old MAC brush. What even is this? This is the 266 brush. I don't even know if they make that anymore, girl. But basically it is an angled liner brush. So it looks like this, right? It has the angle to it. And this is what I like to use to apply my gel liner. And then the main reason I like to use this is that so that when I'm doing my inner corner, like my liner, I can use this part to get the inner corner of my eye and get that like nice sharp line that I want, so that I feel like flatters my eye shape. So if that's something that you like to do too, I definitely recommend getting you like a good old gel liner, girl, and then an angled liner brush. But what was my original thought that I wanted to tell you guys? Oh yes. Okay, so this is an older MAC brush that I'm using, 266 brush. I don't even know if they make this anymore, girl. But when you're using a brush, right, and if you notice that like after a while, the bristles are kind of coming apart, so like the brush is starting to look like wider instead of like flat. Like you see how flat I squeezed this brush? Take a little bit of clear lash glue. Clear lash glue. Beloved, please don't use the black lash glue. It got to be clear. And you want to put it on the brush. So like don't dip it in it, but like, you know, put some on your fingers and like squeeze the brush together. That'll get it nice and flat. This way you can get those sharp lines and you're not like struggling to keep everything like nice and sharp and crisp. Let me move the mirror so you can see. There we go. And see how much easier that made it for me to get that inner point in my eye, because I held it like this and I used the angle of the brush. So again, some tools that I would recommend you pick up if you ain't got them already. And again, they don't have to be expensive, but for me, like I brought this brush over 10 years ago. I took good care of it. That's why I still got it. And I did not have to buy a new one. So when I want to do my makeup looks, like I have good quality tools that have lasted me a really long time because I invested one time and I got what I need to do what I want. Okay. Stop the camera. Restart. Now, when I do gel liner, something that I like to do is set it with some black eyeshadow. Let me just go ahead and wipe this eyeshadow. Actually, no, I'm going to use more of the eyeshadow base in a minute, so I'm not going to. I'm just scared to get it on my top, girl. All right, so back to the P. Louise palette, right? Boom. There is a matte black shade in here that I'm going to grab, and that is this one right here. It's called No Objections. Let me make sure I also show the camera. So when you see this like little short video go up with the tutorial on this look, y'all can say you were there for the behind the scenes. You saw how it goes down when I'm filming. So basically, oh, let me show you. Same brush that I used for the gel liner, right? I'm going to use that to pick up some of the matte black eyeshadow. And I'm going to apply it on top of the gel liner. I don't know why I had to think about the word for a second. And that's just going to set it. So it's going to give it a smooth look. It's going to make sure it doesn't budge. And I'm not going to have to worry about any movement. I also feel like it helps it last longer. In general, I feel like the Inglot gel liner that I used underneath this, it does last a good long time. Like, my thing is definitely, I love full glam makeup, but I also want it to last, right? Like, I'm not doing my makeup just to look cute for like only 2 hours. And then like after that, you wind up looking crazy. Or like, you know, you'll hear about makeup and it's like, oh, like it lasted for 8 hours. Well, girl, 8 hours is a work shift. What I got plans after? Like, I need to make sure that, like, my makeup is long lasting, especially because I have oily skin. This way, like, it's gonna last through the day with me. So all that is to say, my thing is I love full glam makeup and I love makeup that lasts all day. So if that is also your thing, girl, let's be friends. Hit the subscribe button. All right, so I feel like I'm in a good place with my eyeshadow on my upper eye. I now want to do some stuff in my lower lash line, and we're not gonna go crazy because the star of the show really is this liquid liner, and I really like how it's playing off my necklace, which I got from Shein, by the way. So what I'm going to do is take more of that P. Louise. Girl, I'm over here yapping so much, I've got to stop and restart the camera again. Okay, so I'm going to take more of that P. Louise base that I've been using this whole time. Same base that I used to base my eye, go in and carve out my lid. I'm going to take just the teensiest bit more, right? And I'm using it in the shade 5. I don't remember how many shades they make in this right now, but I use the shade 5. I use this under every eyeshadow look. If you've ever looked at my makeup and been like, oh, I wonder what eyeshadow base she uses, it's this. And it'll probably be never be anything else because it works really, really well for me. Anyways, I'm going to take a little bit of that same large flat concealer brush I've been using this whole time. Let me lean forward so you guys can see. And I'm going to take that right here under my lower lash line. So like the tip of the brush is like brushing my lashes a little bit. And basically I'm doing that. This way I can throw a little bit more eyeshadow underneath my eye. But again, nothing too crazy because the star of the show is up here. Okay. This is also low-key reminding me I need to get a new mascara. I meant to do that. I got some to use for today, don't worry about it, but I need to get a new one. And I kind of want to try something new. So if you have like a good favorite mascara of yours, let me know in the comments what that is, because I definitely want to try something new. Okay, so next, under my eye, girl, gonna grab that same Coco Naughty bronzer. Remember, I used this in my crease earlier. This was the first shade that I used in my crease. And also, this is gonna be the bronzer I put on my face later. I'm picking it up on a flat shader brush. These are really great. Sorry, I thought I saw something on my lip. I was like, did my brush set and leave a hair on my lip? How rude. I'm going to take this flat shader brush, this right here, and I love using these for my lower lash line to like blend out makeup right there. Showing the camera. Now, arguably, yes, if you don't have extra brushes on hand, you can use the same brushes that you already used like to do the rest of your eye. I just like to use like a flat shader smudger brush because it lets me like really kind of like pack and smudge the product underneath there, which is what I think I want to go for with this look. I'm also going to add some liner under there for depth, but this is just the first shade I'm throwing down. Girl, I'm not done playing music outside. But I think it's low-key sounds like it might be Work by Rihanna, so we'll allow it. Okay. For liner, I'm almost tempted to use dark brown liner on my lower lash line to not compete as much. Curiosity, what would it look like? I'm trying to get it out of my makeup case. And then if I don't like it, I can always go over that with my black liner. Now, I feel like I gotta make the face in order to, like, you know, get up under there to do my lower lash line. So y'all know exactly what face I'm talking about. You know, you be making all the crazy faces like that, just trying to get up under there. I don't know why, I just feel like it helps me get there a little better. Okay. Yeah, that's doing what I need it to do, because I don't want it to be as harsh, I don't think, right now. Now, if I get to the end and I'm looking and I'm like, yeah, let's change the color, I will do so. But I think right now this is having the effect that I want it to have. I just want to add a little bit of definition, but not necessarily be as strong as the liner on my upper lash line. Oh, I didn't even tell you guys what this liner is. This is the Sephora, their 12-hour colorful eye pencil. This is in the shade Tiramisu. This is basically just like a nice brown eyeliner. Now I am gonna want to connect right there. So I just wanted to connect like the wing here to my lower lash line here. But I'm not even gonna hold you doing that with a pencil. Risky business. I low-key should have done it with like the liner brush and just kept it black, but it's okay. Okay, so now I'm gonna take more of Mocha Mami, which I also used in my crease, on that flat smudger brush. Yeah, it's giving I might wind up actually adding some black liner after, but we'll see. I'll know for sure like once I get my lashes on in a second. Okay, so the mascara that I have on hand right now is by Too Faced. Pause and restart the camera. I'm like over here trying to figure if I want to use the mirror. I'm going to use y'all as my mirror. And for me to get the effect that I want, I'm gonna be throwing on lashes. Like, I'm not gonna pretend that I just get the effects that I want by just using mascara. Typically, like, I do go in with a lash. So this is really more so just to help my lashes blend with my natural lashes blend with the false lashes that I'm about to put on. And what I mean by blend is that, like, so I've been working with powder eyeshadow, right? So there's some eyeshadow sitting on my lashes. So instead of just being like darker and blending in with the false lashes I'm going to put on, if I were to just put my lash on without the mascara, you would definitely see my natural lashes underneath because they would have the powder from the eyeshadow that I used sitting on them. Ask me how I know. Okay, so I have, while my mascara is drying, I have a couple of lash options out, and I hope I took out my lash glue. Okay, perfect, I did. Pause the camera, restart the camera. All right, so I have my Lilly lashes and the style Mykonos. We could put these on. Or I have these lashes from AliExpress. These are in the shade F41. Now, I'm not going to hold you. My favorite lash from AliExpress is the D22, but I feel like they got a little inconsistency with the quality control. Because usually it was more like a nice, like full, like wispy lash. And then I noticed over time as I started ordering them, like some of them started looking like real extra, like thick in a way that was like not cute. So that's why I haven't really ordered any D22s in a while. Anyways, so this is what AliExpress F41 would look like. And then this is what Lilly Lashes Mykonos would look like. I want to get concealer in my hair. Which one do y'all think? Let me know in the comments. AliExpress F41, which is this one right here, or Lilly Lashes Mykonos, which is this lash right here. while you guys are letting me know which lashes you think I should use, I am going to go ahead and put on my lashes. And this is the part I feel like I always skip on camera because, like, it's like, when you have your technique and your rhythm down, putting on lashes is not hard. But, like, because I'm not able to, well, because I'm filming, I can't just, like, get up in my mirror like I want to. It becomes a little struggly, but we're going to get through it, girl. So this is what I usually do that helps me get my lashes on in a way that is easier for me. First and foremost, if you also struggle with lashes, the one thing you should get is a lash applicator tool. I got this one from Ulta years ago. I can't remember how much it was, but it was definitely under $10. This allows you to pick up the lash and place it. Okay, so that's one thing you definitely need. You also need some good lash glue. My favorite is this one by House of Lashes, but girl, it's strong. You don't want to use this and think you're just going to snatch your lashes off at the end of the night, because then you definitely will snatch off your lashes. You ain't going to have nothing left under here, and then you're going to be needed to glue some lashes on for real. So, be careful. Make sure you use some eye makeup remover when you take this off. Anyways, this comes in both clear and it also comes in black. I like to use it in black just because I feel like it helps my actual, the lashes that I use blend in better. So what I do, you see how I already have my eye lined, right? We're going to go over the liner, not the entire line, just closer to the actual lashes using the liner as a guide, and I'm going to paint on the liner. Then when the liner gets tacky, I'm going to take the lashes and stick them on top. This is a great way to apply lashes if you struggle with it, and you want to get it on there and stuck, and not have to worry about, like, you know, oh man, like the lash didn't go where I wanted it to go, the lash from the band got on my lashes, like just making a whole big mess. So I angle my brush so I can try to not get too much of it on my lashes, and I'm just painting the lash glue low on my lash line, close to my actual lashes. And then when this glue dries and starts to get a little tacky, that is when I will pop some lashes on. And then remember, we're deciding between using either Lilly Lashes Mykonos lashes today or AliExpress F41. So that's the glue on this side. I'm going to go ahead and be real daring and put it on the other eye and let it dry as well while we do this. Yeah, I think I'm going to want to go back and touch up a little bit of that liquid eyeshadow that I used. That's what I was looking at over here. Okay. Cool. All right. Any thoughts on the lashes, y'all? What I'm kind of leaning towards, and I'm not even going to hold you, Lilly Lashes Mykonos. These are like my go-to lashes, and honestly, I'm glad I caught them on a deal a couple of times. First of all, TJ Maxx, baby. Around Christmas time, like I was talking about earlier when I got like this mirror. This past year, they had like the Lilly Lashes eyelashes sets, so you could get 2 pairs of lashes for like, I think it was like 10 bucks or something crazy like that. Those are the Miamis though. So I have the Miamis and then something else. But these Mykonos lashes, Amazon had done a similar deal. And then there was an Ulta sale too. Okay. So the lash went on nice and easy. I just want to make sure I have the placement right. Because you know if the band twists a little bit, then your lash looks a little wonky. If we're trying to avoid that. But what's good about the lash tool that I just used to apply it is that I can take and pinch the lashes in with my actual lashes. To make sure they're nice and low and sitting how I want it to sit. I did see that I got a little bit of the lash glue here under my eye. Accident happen. So what I will do is when it dries down, I'll just like use my nails to kind of like scrape it up, put a little more liner, a little more eyeshadow. We'll be all good. Okay, now for the other eye. Hopefully I wasn't talking so long, but now the glue is completely dry. So same thing on this side. Girl, Got a little bit of my hair up in there. Gotta move to the side. All right, so same deal, taking the lash applicator tool, lifting it over my lashes, and then placing it down. But I need to get it onto my actual lash. Like, this is a little bit too high, I can see that. And part of that is because of the way I was holding the tool, because I'm trying to hold the mirror at the same time. Okay. There we go. I feel like this lash is sitting up more than this one. Girl, sit up. It's Sunday. Gotta act right. Okay, period. Now, to clean it up a little bit, right? Because a lot of times you gotta go back and touch up a little bit for things to come together and for it to not look quite as messy. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a little bit more of the Inglot gel liner, shade 77, clean off the excess on the side here, and I'm gonna just go over the lash band and a little bit of the liner as well, just to help them both blend together better. Yeah. And then also I see like there's kind of like a little, not quite a hump, but it's like, when I did it the first time, it wasn't quite as continuous. There we go. See? Okay. I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. More of the Inglot liner. I'm going over the lash band. And also cleaning up the line a bit. Okay, there we go. All right, so for right now, other than going back a little bit with my, is there a limit on live? Because I'm trying to figure if I'm gonna have to start another one. If this one stops again, I'm gonna start a new one, so don't worry. But I think I'm gonna take a little bit. First, I need to get this liner, or lash glue rather, that I actually got down here out the way. I'm going to take a little bit more of the liner. There we go. Smudge it all up in there. And actually what I think I should do, other than get a makeup wipe and wipe some of this eyeliner off my hands, goodness gracious, because I do not want to get that all over my face. Okay, so clean that up, because also I just did my nails. I made these press-ons the other day and I glued them on last night. I do have a tutorial coming up on how I did these, so I'm not trying to mess up my nails either. Now, okay, let me take a little bit of that last P. Louise eyeshadow that I used, from the Wedding Wish Excel palette, that like dark brown smoky color, this one right here. I'm gonna take a little bit of that and I'm gonna smudge that up underneath my lash line as well, just to add a little bit more definition, but not make it too much. Okay. And again, I'm just using a flat, like, smudging brush, which is shaped like this. Okay. I think as of right now, for right now, the eyes are good. I might like go back at the end and be like, all right, let me add this, let me add that. But for right now, the eyes are basically good. I do want to make sure though that I just take a little bit of this and kind of bring it into the corner of my eye. And so as I'm looking around, it's not like there are gaps. And I do see that I need to impress the lash down very well, I think, in the inner corner. So that will get addressed as well. But honestly, I can do that a little closer to the end. Okay, let's get into some face makeup. This is my favorite part. Like, once I get through like the brows and the eyeshadow, I'm like, okay, now we really cooking. All right, so I am going to show you guys the like priming and foundation routine that I do when I really want my makeup to last and stay, but also like my go-to foundation routine for warmer months, spring, summer months. I'm going to be getting humidity, whatever. That's what we're going to do right now. So first of all, before I forget, I'm just going to put down one of these plastic patches on my skin, and that is so I can use it. It's basically like a little palette. I got these on Amazon, right? This way, like, as I put my foundation stuff, like, on the back of my hand, it's not, like, a lot that I'll have to, like, wipe off, clean up. I can just peel this up after and be good. So, to prime my face, I'm going to start off with the One Size Primer. This is their Oil Sucker Extreme Mattifying Primer. If y'all remember the Becca Evermatte Poreless Perfecting Primer from back in the day, I shouldn't still have this because it's expired, and I know better. I'm a scientist. I know better. But I still have it. The Becca Evermatte Poreless Perfecting Primer, we're not going to talk about how old this is. We're not going to talk about when the last time was that I used it, because I understand that it's expired. I understand you should not use expired makeup. But baby, you can't tell me this primer wasn't good, and it was a real long time before we got anything else that was as good as that primer, at least for those of us with oily skin. That was until One Size dropped this primer. Again, this is their Oil Sucker Extreme Mattifying Primer. Love this. This is great in the summer. Anytime you know you're going to be out and sweating a lot, or if you know that like you need your makeup to last all day and you have oily skin, I highly, highly recommend this primer. Now, because this is a super mattifying primer, oh, let me get my quick camera shot real quick. Sorry, y'all. Because I'm like recording a video while I show y'all. All right, first, I'll shake it up a little bit because it's liquidy. You hear that? It's liquidy. With this primer, you're not going to put it all over your face. That's not what we're going to do. You're just going to put it in the areas where you get oily. And also I want to let you guys know, because I won't be able to make a lot of expressions after I put this on. Because basically, this primer takes about 3 minutes to dry down. I'm going to tap a little bit on my forehead, because that is where I get the most oily. And especially right now, because I'm sitting under like my filming lights. So girl, I'm hot. I'm hot. Oh no, I just made a little face. Let me relax. I'm hot. And I know when I start to sweat, I get oily. Is right here. That's gonna get me every time on my forehead. This primer takes 3 minutes to dry down, and you want to make sure that when you put it on, one, you see how I'm patting it into my skin? Girl, you want to pat it, because if you put too much or just like try to like slap it on your face haphazardly, it ain't gonna look right, and I ain't gonna hold you. I can, or like you can already kind of see like the texture starting to change here. Like you can tell like there's something there, right? But also if you start making faces and whatnot before the primer has dried, when it dries, you're going to have the expression lines in your forehead. They're going to show up loud and proud, and I don't want to say kind of be set in there, but kind of, because like if you start doing all that before you put foundation on after using this primer, the lines are going to be there and they're kind of hard to get away. Not even going to hold you. So we got to wait 3 minutes for this to dry. This is the this is my oil control primer, One Size Oil Sucker Extreme Mattifying Primer. If you're looking for a good primer for spring summer months or you're oily, you need this. On the rest of my face, as I'm trying to keep my face real nice and still, on the rest of my face, I use a more hydrating primer, specifically something that's gonna like grip and hold my foundation. And I like to try new things, which is what we're doing today, right? Like we're trying some new makeup products. But when I find something that I love, oh girl, I made a face. Y'all gotta remind me to stop making faces so I don't get them forehead lines. Okay, when I find a product that I love, Baby, I'm a product loyalist, okay? Once I know that this thing is gonna get me right every time, I'm gonna keep buying it each time I run out. So all that is to say, Milk Makeup Hydrogrip Primer, I have been using this faithfully since it came out. And this came out years ago. I rarely use anything else on the rest of my face. Like, I'll use like a Smashbox primer once in a while, but this, my go-to. So I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna put it on the rest of my face. So everywhere that I did not use the One Size Oil Sucker Primer, and especially underneath my eyes. A little bit more. And this is like a great hydrating primer. It really helps to like grip your makeup to your skin, in my opinion. So like even in the summer months, I'm using that as well on the rest of my face. Try not to make faces. This way, my One Size primer can set well. Okay. So as we're still waiting for my One Size primer to dry, I think I still have maybe another couple minutes. Let me pause, restart the camera. New product that I want to try today that isn't necessarily new in the sense it just came out, but it's new to me because, girl, I haven't tried it yet. This is the L'Oreal Lumi Glowtion. This is in the shade 904. I want to say this might be, it's either the deepest or the second deepest shade that they make. For me, I have oily skin, right? So I'm not someone who really uses a lot of foundations that are like illuminating, radiant, glowy, because on my oily skin, after a little bit of time, I look greasy. And that's not the look that I'm going for. So how I add back in like my glow with my makeup is by using like products like this that like add a glow to your skin, or by like adding like my highlighter, or maybe I'm using like a setting spray that has not highlight in it, but like basically like, you know, like the reflective particles is what I'm trying to say. So that's what we're going to try this for today. I have not used this yet. I got it at Walmart recently, and I'm going to use this under my foundation. Now, everybody that I didn't see on TikTok that used this really. So we're going to see how it does for us today. We're going to see how it does for us today. Okay. I'm just doing a little bit of a glow. I also do have the Milk Makeup, the Hydrogrip primer that they have that has the illuminating stuff in it. This right here. But the shade is a little bit lighter. While it still works, like it doesn't look like ashy or anything like that, I feel like I needed something that was like slightly deeper to offer me more of a glow. But that's still a great primer to try if you would want to stop at that shade for like your highlight stuff. Okay. Get under the eye as well. Boom. Are we seeing a glow? Let me look in the mirror. Because I feel like sometimes on camera, the lighting might like wash me out like a tiny bit. Oh, I see a glow. I like this. Like if I were going to the beach and I just wanted to put something on my skin to have a little bit of a glow, I could definitely do this. Okay, cool. Next, we're gonna go in. I didn't even get the clip for the camera, y'all. Getting my little camera clip. Gotta show the camera the product too. Oh, that's actually kind of cute. Okay, so I just applied the L'Oreal Gloomy Lotion to my face. This is the one I used, shade 904 Deep Glow. For foundation, my all-time favorite foundation, hands down, no competition, is the NARS Soft Matte Complete Foundation. Let me also show the camera. All right, now, here's the thing. I have Macao and I have Marquises. Marquises? Marquise. We're gonna say Marquise because I think that's what it is. So I have Macao and I have Marquise in this foundation, right? However, Macao, great shade, matches almost perfectly, but the problem is the undertone for this one on me is a little bit too warm. Marquise, if I were to just use one shade, really it should just be this. It'll be a little darker than I actually am, but because I am someone I highlight, I contour, I do all the things, it all comes together. What I've been doing recently is mixing them together, and that's been working for me. So that's what we're going to do today. And again, this is the NARS Soft Matte Complete Foundation. It's hands down my favorite foundation. Girl, I gotta stop making them faces so I don't have no lines under my foundation. I'm doing all this yapping. Anyway, so what I do is I'm going to take a little bit of Macao. Okay, I took a lot of Macao. And I'm going to mix it with more Marquise. Let me wipe up this little extra bit of foundation that accidentally dropped there. And then also make sure my foundation brush is here. Cool. Okay. And I'm going to take Marquise. And I mix them together. Definitely want more Marquise than Macao, I think, today. I'm going to mix them. And again, if I were going to use just one shade, that one shade would be Marquise. But shade, okay, yeah. We got about what I need right there. Okay, so I'm going to use this P. Louise foundation brush, and I'm going to use that to blend out my foundation. Now, when I'm blending my foundation, to get the most coverage, you want to pat. See how I'm patting the brush on my face? I'm not dragging. That's not what's happening here. I'm patting. Patting your foundation is going to help you get more coverage out of it. A little bit here. Now this is a foundation that once it dries, girl, it's there and it's stuck. So you want to make sure that you blend it out before it completely dries down. And really, I need to stop playing and get to my forehead in a minute. Because like I said with the primer that I used, if I keep making faces before I get my foundation on there and set, I'm going to have forehead lines. And that, I don't feel like that was a part of God's plan for me today. So a little bit more foundation here. And honestly, I just pick it up and I place it with my finger. I could use my brush, but I feel like when I do that sometimes, it feels like I'm just caking my brush up with product. So that's why I be using my fingers. And I want to make sure, blend out here to the side. Okay, I'm just remembering that I forgot to color correct under my eyes. So I can pause and do that briefly. Because I don't really be putting foundation necessarily under my eye anyway.